how about NIL? I mean, that so many ways to go with this question. Revenue sharing, the house settlement's going to come, um, changes a lot of things for schools with the revenue sharing, the cap, um, and then just NIL and what collectives play in it. And I'm sure it's something that you're talking to your member schools about all the time. We're sitting here in January 25. Say a year from now, what do you think NIL actually looks like at the college level?
My hope
Mhm.
is this, that, with we're going to have a new administration in Washington, D.C., a lot of things are going to change. The one thing about NIL that was missed, and it's going to be very hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube,
Mhm.
is state legislators are not dumb.
Mhm.
Some of them are creating legislation to directly benefit their state schools.
Yeah,
But we can't have this patchwork of different
all
state
different.
laws.
Yeah,
Like, if the government could do anything to help us with NIL, it's to create consistent federal legislation on how it works. To just to even it out, I think that gives us a fighting chance.
yeah.
As far as what it could look like in the future, I think it's great that student athletes can do this. And people
Mhm.
are like, "Oh my God, this quarterback's going to
Yeah,
get is making more money next year than four NFL quarterbacks."
yeah.
Well, he may not have the opportunity to play in the NFL. Like,
Mhm.
who wouldn't capitalize on that while they can?
Yeah,
I support student athletes' ability to do that, and it's also got to continue to evolve. It has to be created in a consistent way,
yeah,
and that's where I think the industry is missed. It's
yeah,
it's all over the place. People are using it to create recruiting advantages,
yeah.
and the reality is this: even if it's federally governed,
Mhm.
some schools are going to have more resources than
Yeah,
others. Like,
yeah,
there's always going to be the gap
yeah.
between some and others, but it should continue to evolve. If we can
Mhm.
make it consistent in how it's governed
Yeah.
nationally, I think that gives us a fighting
Yeah,
chance.
you mentioned maybe the guy who makes that NFL money or the NIL money might not be playing in the NFL. I mean, I think about my career. Like I never played. I'm in a rare camp of All American in college, never played in the NFL. Like I
Right.
would have made some money. And then I had a quarterback, Power Four quarterback, call me this offseason, who was starting at a Power Four school, was very good, and transferred schools. Remember, he calls me and he's like, "Hey, Adam, I want your advice. I'm thinking about transfer." I'm like, "Why the hell would you transfer?
Yeah.
Like, you're the starting quarterback at a Power Four school." He's like, "Well, if I hit the transfer portal, my market value doubles." He's like, "I'm probably not going to play in the NFL for a long time, and he didn't. Transfers, hits the
Hmm.
portal, market value doubles. In my mind, I'm like, it's a great thing that he can do that he can
Hmm.
go get that money, but the fact that he has to hit the portal in order for that to happen, in order
Right.
for that, where he's now more valuable because he can get paid to go to another school, and that, the current school doesn't have either the money or the incentive to keep him. That's the part that I feel like, becomes a little bit of pay for play, where,
Yeah.
and hopefully the house case fixes some of that and the schools are, but the players aren't bonded to contracts like the coaches are, like anyone else. Is that kind of how, like, it's a good thing, but there's also some messiness in that where you got to
Sure.
hit the portal and then you make more money, and it's tough on the players and the coaches, I think.
Right. And people need to listen to coaches.
Yeah, true.
Okay. And
Yeah,
coaches, I know that, coaches are a different breed.
we both know.
I've
Yeah,
worked with some, I'm now working with more. They're a different breed, but people have to listen to them. Look what happened at the coaches convention.
yeah,
They're all unanimously at the table
mhm,
saying we have to change the timing of this portal
have to.
in order
Yeah,
not to detrimentally impact the product.
yeah,
The product is not American football, Big Ten football,
yeah,
SEC. The product is college football. We have to
yeah,
protect it.
yeah,
So when you talk about situations like that, the Adam Brenneman, the former
mhm,
player, understands that,
yeah,
right? Because maybe it is a window in time where that individual has the opportunity.
yeah,
But why should they have to hit the portal to reach their market value?
yeah,
Should we create a system where everyone's market value is evaluated
yeah,
on an annual basis and they
mhm,
have the ability to earn? But student athletes are headed for contractual agreements
yeah,
with their institutions and in some case conferences.
yeah,
That also, I think, will help at least keep everybody accountable
yeah,
to what it is that they've agreed to versus the free for all that we're
yeah.
seeing right now.